day they now call the last fall of Mogadishu. I had run away from the man my grandma made me marry. He was 50 years old. When you're 15, 50 feels very, very old. There was a woman running beside me. She was very pregnant. She could give birth at any moment. And the woman ahead of me, she kept on screaming, "Don't look back! Don't look back!" God forgive me. I kept on running. I will never forget that woman. Every which way I tried to go, the road was blocked. There was no way out of Mogadishu. So I tried to go back home to Hamarwena. I wanted to see if my father and brother were there. It was the last day I saw my father.
Eifra.
And the day my brother disappeared.
Halka sameni sa gabadediye.
يا ثانكو يلا
Ninka ayeyo igurise.
Ninka gami yakhmesi.
صبح أحمد يقول كي سيبقى نصوصة إبرة وإن أنا بتا أنا أي خطر وتاي جوجس مد شوك
يا ayeya.
إبرة ما كنا ما حنا نقول ديك وحنا نقول اللي نطلع سامتا وقتك من كاجا لكن هو واحد كيا
There was no light that night in Mogadishu, no electricity at all, and no sign of anybody at home. I waited and waited, but they never came back. All day, I kept on looking out the window, hoping my father might come home or send a sign. But it wasn't them. That was when the military occupied the house. They had used me hard, pushing and pushing again and again. My grandma called my uncle, the doctor, to fix me. My auntie had sent the money from America to pay my uncle, the doctor.
Bye-bye.
My grandma had to leave to fetch food for my sister at the camp in Afgoy. But I was still too weak to travel.
waxaan ku siinayaa lambarkan 19526311194 waxay sheegeen waa run hooyada walaasheed waa nooshahay waxayna ku agsoon tahay Minnesota Ferry.
I couldn't read and I couldn't write, but he was sure we had her telephone number in America.
wax mustaqbal halkan kuma yaalo aydana kuma awoodayni halkan ku hayso wadigaanu kuma rabo haddii fursad aad u haysatid inaad tagtid waa inaad ka faa'iidaysataa.
So we went to a place called Albracad where you can make international phone calls.
Okay, Ifra, number key دواك. حاجة كبيرة. خلاص. number ما يوعيك. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. أيه. ألو السلام عليكم.
It was a lot of money. They made the arrangements, and my auntie, she sent some money for us to collect from a local bank.
kugu iman doona xadka Ethiopia kaasoo ku geenaya mukhalaf jooga Addis Ababa wasas badan oo maanta baxaya ma jiraan kuwa baxana ma soo noqonayaan soo dhaqso soo bax bas gaarnay soo dhaqso soo bax soo bax lamay soo soc yaa dhaqso intaan soo dhaqso hadduu maanta kana dhaafo waa la dhamaad ilaahu bas noo sahal صدق صدق بس هو بحابة إلى تاه بس كم هلينه كنا بس كذا لين صبح بس هو بحابة لأنه ما بنانا كنا كفينا بس من البناية كم بس البناية ساحب ساحب كم بس البناية ساحب حاجة يوسف صاحبه هالخط ما وطع يقول لك لي إنسان صاحب العقد دي وضع واحد هالخط واحد صاحبه كريسان هو أكبر وكبرية صاحبه كريسان لا كعبسه هالكبر بس صاحبه صاحب هيا أنا صاري صبح صبح لا تصوح صارية هيا نعم ترتيب madaxa hoos u dhig aad sabab markaa aadid ninkii makhalska ku kaxeynaya habeerta oo mareeg wuxuu ku geynaya insha Allah si fiican birtu qabso maca salaama safar wanaagsan safar wanaagsan maca salaama
When we were halfway there, we were stopped by the military.
رجع حلقاس دمرك حلقاس حلقة راح سعو قفز صدق أيه رجع حلقاس دمرك حلقاس رجع حلقاس دمرك حلقاس رجع حلقاس مرسيد
They threatened to rape all the women without papers unless the boost driver paid a ransom.
سعو أي ورغديني كان ايه او انك بس كبدي انتنا دمركم
وانت بس انت خوف موجود
انتنا بس خوفك سحر $8 ينسي $8 كان
ولا حاجه
ورغد ما عارفين
ولا حاجه انت كنت
ورغد ما عارفين اخذ كم
حتى كوشي ولا حاجه كوشي
ورغد ما عارفين خوفك $8 كان ما تقدر سعتي توكل هذا كان
اوكي شوف
هذا كان $8 خوفك كل ما صدق عفرشان هي
$8
سعايه
باسبورك السوقات kala saar waa inay lacag ragga is hawjugsadaan dumarkana is hawjugsadaan maxamed maxaa qabanaysaa
سعو وبنات سعو
صدق وانا ماني اوكي انا جالس على صباح صاحب والله gabartan ninkan midkiina ka talo Ethiopia inuu geeyo bal wuxuu u tagay waa mas'uul gabartan la socoto inuu hubi Ethiopia geeyo bal wuxuu u tagay
إفرا
soo socda soo kora socda sii kora
وريا محل
باور كود مساعد دقيقة
كسو دقيقة كل جينا سو دقيقة وريا نخسك شخصيك على جي نخسبه
كعنا ودقيقة
إفرا قرح لي إيشك هو هاي وريا نخسك شخصيك
I wasn't the only girl with a trafficker, but I was probably the youngest.
عسويس soo kara waqtiga u socdo
Maybe that was why he was watching me.
markaad isaawo aadno ninkaan ha isku raacin aniga ay raacisaa xaaskiya reer muqdisho ah anaa meel keenayo waa balantaas
كعكع وجونا ماشي نكانة وسياش ماشي سورية حاجة
When we get to Addis, a family comes to meet the bus driver. And the woman waiting for him is dressed Somali.
كالي يجي سعدي وحان يجي خلق هذا إفراح نكان وجونا ماشي كالي هذه كان حاجة تويتر فرصة ده نيجي خالد إفران إفراح
eedada waxay ku soo dirteen nin xun oo mukhalis ah dumarka Soomaaliyeed ayuu geeyaa Sacuudiga sida jaarida adoonsi ah gurigeena ku soo dhawow iska bax soo gal waxa eedada la bacayaa waxa lagu diraa Mareykanka qof ku geeyo halkaas waa ku badbaadaysaa hadda gurigeena soo dhawow
I stayed there maybe 2 or 3 days. Then the man they call Hassan, he came to collect me.
Sok. Soo dhawow. Ya Allah. Qofta waatan.
افرح عبرتها كاسو درتي نيري على الدواعي هدا
Ayb. Yo.
أستر خمارك سبعة حلو سيدي قور مصنف يعني وش غينا waxaan ku dhahayo si fiican u dhageyso sideedan u samee baasaboorkaaga iyo tigidhkaaga waa kuwan meesha markaan galo safaan galaa adigu waa inaad saf kala gashaa haddii kale oo aad gadaashiida imaanaysid waa inaad hubisaa inay dad noo dhexeeyaan meesha intaan ku jirno aniga hay fiirin geesaha ha fiirin waxaad fiirinaysaa keliya qofka tigidhka kaa qaadaya may taqaanid anigana kuma aqaan haddii lagu joojiyo waxaa ogaanaysaa inaan ku inkiraayo inaan weligeyba ku bartay ama ku aqaan warcad soo maaha aywa hana walwal waa iska ficnaanaysaa وماتن افرح استجي مقلت او غايرنا ايقا تنبين يا ليش ما كان اخذه باسبورت انا كاقالا مقلت ليش ما كان قلنا باسبورت انا كاقالا وحان كده هاي جوبي
Then he took back the passport. And he told me he would give it to me again at immigration. I wasn't to talk to him there either.
Can you take your food, please? Thank you. Sorry.
They brought food to eat, wrapped up in silver buckets. The smell was so terrible. It made me want to vomit. Or maybe it was my nerves making me nauseous.
isha igu hayo anigu si dhawaan
Maraykanka miya?
may kor igala soco hadalkan jooji
I didn't know what country it was, or that we were only there to go through immigration. I had to make sure to wear my scarf differently and hide my face. I think that he knew it wasn't me because of the way he was looking. But God was with me. We stayed a long time in transit. For hours and hours we waited. I couldn't understand the food. I could drink the orange juice. It was sweet, and at least I knew what it was. That's why I still love so much orange juice.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you wear the scarf like this, how do they know it's your face? They don't. And they couldn't tell me to remove it, as this is my religion.
Hey, Yifra. Welcome home, love.
راح مش أوسع الوقار
انت مينيسوتا مياه.
مايا مش هم حوي دبلن ايرلند.
maha habriyadhaaga waxay degan tahay minnesota maraykanka.
meesha u soconay waa halkan haddana waxaa lagaa rabaa inaad magangelin aad weysatid dalkan.
I'd heard of America and Australia and England and Italy, of course, because Italy colonized Somalia, but never Ireland.
Where are you after?
Balls Ridge, near the American embassy.
laakiin waxaanu malaynayay inaan arkayo habriirta maraykanka joogta.
fiiri meel uu geen karo meeshii ugu fiicneed baa joogtaa. habriirtaana sharci kuma walaha maraykan ma fahamti halkaan nabadgelya ku haysataa. Ireland waa dal fiican.
I had no idea what is a refugee, what asylum is, nothing.
intaa u tagtida waxaa leedahay qaxootiya way ku qaabilayaan sharciga ku siinayaan. hadda fiiri jaranjaraas ma u jeedaa jaranjaradaas aad tegaysaa waa koraysaa waa u tegaysaa waxaa ku leedahay qaxootiya ah way ku qaabilayaan sharciga ku siinayaan.
aniga basa laakiin siday u fahmay aniga.
sax waaye warqaddaan tus.
28 euros now.
Here it's your money. Thank you very much.
laakiin adiga ma iraaci kartid miya?
aniga may soo bax gaariga.
laakiin ushra adiga luqada kasaya.
fiiri ifraax isdeji adiga halkaan isku ka dambaysaa.
maya
fiiri soo bax meeshaan gal intaa meesha geshid ma aragtay gabar fiican noqo ilaahayna wuu kula jiraa. soo bax iska jir
What's your name, dear? Where are you from? Neo-Watiolati, Nigeria? CD Tahe. Waksat Tahe Sumiliad?
I think he knew by the look of me, and me when I hear him say Somalia. Oh my God.
So yes, it's just a girl from Somalia. Her name is Ifrah Ahmed, and she's alone. Ifrah, say the name is Samhanusanisa.
Maya kabahun aya ihayo.
No, it's just feeling cold. Very cold.
Tea, water, coffee, anybody?
Somali. Maybe 16? No question. Definitely a minor.
She brings me water, cold water, and I drink the water, and I feel even more cold. Then I had lots of long, very, very long interviews.
That's all the information. I just need a signature. Just get you to sign here.
They kept asking me where I had come from, why I was in Ireland, how I got here.
Mohammed, could you ask Ifrah why her hand is shaking?
Probably she cannot write. Ifrah, qofku qabisa arrimaha bulshada wuxuu ku leeyahay gacantada maxay la garanaysaa.
Run waaye, magacayga ma qori karo, laakiin kabahun ay hayo.
It's true, her hand is shaking because of cold. But she can't write.
You did the whole thing, yeah?
Because I was an unaccompanied minor seeking asylum, they put me into care with a social worker.
Here we go now.
Ifra?
To this day,
Great.
I still wonder where she got that jumper.
Thank you, Mohammed. I think we've got everything now.
I wish that I knew who it was that gave it me so I could go and thank them.
Hi, Amanda. Thanks for staying so late for us.
Somali mata hai? Ha. Waxaan ahay Amanda.
Do you know each other?
No. Imitate. Still we're sisters. Habeen wanaagsan. And when I couldn't sleep, she let me lie with her to feel safe. The most obvious challenge I faced in my new life was the language,
Cornflakes?
as well as the food.
Okay. Make sure she's okay there, please. Mala. Out. Now. Please. Out. Mum. Mala. We do not resort to violence to resolve our issues here. Amala, translate, will you? If we have a problem, we discuss it. Find a solution.
هذا قال من حضر لكن ما هاد لي كارو ما فاهمي وحبها.
Mala, do you still have your translator? Do you know, I have a feeling you don't actually need this anymore. Do you mind if we give it to Ifra?
ما هي باريكاردا سير لو كورو ماغا اغا. She wants you to teach her English.
We'll need Ifra now for her intake medical screening. Amala, will you explain to Ifra that in order to process her asylum application, she's required to have a routine medical examination, yeah?
cusub pareha.
Okay, girls, let's go back into breakfast.
My social worker made all my appointments for me.
Ifra, that's Mohammed. Who translated for us on the telephone?
First, they tried to explain me the blood tests and medical exams.
Can you explain that I have put myself down as Ifra's guardian until she's 18?
gabadha waxay kaa noqonaysaa qof mas-uul ka ah ilaa inta ay gaaraysid 18 sano.
And we will need to do a routine test for HIV.
waxaa lagaa baarayaa cudurka dilaaga ah ee AIDS-ka.
So now I have somebody from my own country translating what HIV is and telling me that I'm not to worry, that if I have it, I'll be treated and given medication. And hepatitis, don't worry, if you have it, he says, there is medication and you'll be treated for that too. The same for tuberculosis and STDs. There were more diseases than I had ever heard of.
For girls, there's also a routine gynecological examination and a pregnancy test.
waxaa maraysaa baaritaanka hoose ee dumarka iyo baaritaanka uurka kuwaasoo u gaara haweenka.
Laakiin haka walwalan haddii aad uur leedahay inta hal baa jira.
She asked even if you're pregnant, is there a solution for that too?
Great. So it seems that you're almost done. Just the smear test and that's it.
Smear test. Smear test.
But there was one condition for which they had not legislated.
Let's get you changed. Can you explain?
Yes. She means you put this on.
waxay ka wadaa dharkan xiro.
You take off your clothes.
Dharkaaga iska bixi.
Put your arms through here.
Gacanta ayaa ka gelinaysaa.
Tie at the top.
Kor ka xir.
And pop up on the seat.
Kursiga ku fadhiiso.
We'll leave you to get changed in private.
waa kaa bixinaa si dharkaa iskaga bedeshid.
The doctor will be in soon. He'll do a quick examination and then we're done.
dhakhtarka kuu soo gelaya si uu kuu baaro kadibna waa dhammaynay.
Just prop yourself up here, okay? Don't worry. The doctor will be with you shortly. It's just a little bit.
Just leave it. So, who do we have here now? Ifra Ahmed, all the way from Somalia. Thanks, nurse. If you can just get Ifra ready there. Thank you. Ifra, we're going to just do a little examination down below. Nothing to worry about. Maybe just standing close to me when I'm examining Ifra. And perhaps if Ifra could just relax a bit more. Ifra, everything's going to be okay now. Just relax now. Just do a little examination down below, okay?
Don't worry. You're safe, okay, kiddo?
Very good. Okay, Ifra. Now, okay. We're not going to proceed with anything here.
Here is something to drink, darling.
Then they explain me that they got a shock, and they keep apologizing and talking and asking, how did you get injured, and what happened to you?
Ifra, I've asked Mohammed to come down and join us. Mohammed, I think Ifra has been upset about the examination. Could you explain to her that we're sorry if she has been upset?
waxaan ka xunnahay in laga xanaajiyey.
Now, I've contacted a colleague of mine, a female doctor, who's going to come down straight away and see Ifra.
waxaan la xiriiray gabadh dhakhtarad ah si ay kuu baarto ku aragto.
I'll follow the rest up outside, yeah?
Mohammed, would you ask Ifra why this happened to her?
And I just keep saying to Muhammad, I am not injured. It is not an injury. And they have to call another doctor, a woman doctor.
Ifra, this is a colleague of mine who's going to look after you.
Would you ask her how did it happen?
ma noo sheegi kartaa siday wax kugu dhaceen?
Sidee? Maxaa dhacay? Tan waa naga. Waa sidaas way dhacdaa. Tan waa naga.
My name's Ifra Ahmed. I am citizen of Ireland and a survivor of female genital mutilation. Adding my voice to the campaign for awareness and understanding, for legislative reform and the eradication of FGMC has been the greatest gift of my life so far. The gift of survival. The gift of a voice where before there was only silence. Silence may be the rust on the razor with which they threatened to cut my throat. But it was not my tongue they cut.
So Ifra would have had full-on type 3 FGMC.
Yeah. That would be typical in Somalia. The procedure is carried out by a traditional practitioner, and they use a razor blade without an anesthetic to cut her.
Cut her how?
Well, they cut off her clitoris completely.
Oh, holy God.
And then they sew it back up.
Horrific.
So now I'm thinking it must be time for some answers. And from the looks on their faces, I'm thinking they're going to tell me the tests say I have some other disease.
Eris Makabami says?
Oh, no, Ifra. There's nothing like that wrong with you.
Doesn't remain in Kushego. But in my head, I was thinking that the way they did this checkup thing to me with the special test for girls, I knew it. If it happened to me, this FGM thing, then it must have happened to them too. So I asked them first, because we speak the same language, and it's something personal to all of us. I asked them if it had happened to them.
Ayayade waxay dhihi jirtay sadaheda uragada ah ee haweenka.
Aniga xataa gudninka, haweenka, guurka, tan saddexaad
maalinta talniinka canuga.
saddexda murugada ee haweenka.
saddexda murugada ee haweenka. So I say to her, look, we have to do something to explain to Irish people about our tradition so they understand our culture. And I say to myself,
Until girls like me are free of the fear, the pain, the shame, and medical consequences of cutting, I will not stop. I will not stop talking. I will not stop talking until we are free of FGM.
but first I had to learn the language. So I went to all the English classes I could.
Great, so this is the parts of the body. Parts of the body, right? So the first one is eye. Eye. Very good. So this one here is ear. 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 Very good. This one is nose. Nose. Come on. Nose. Very good. This one is hand. Hand. See this one? Hand. That's it exactly. Hand. Very good.
What is this?
What is?
What is this?
That would be private parts. Private parts. You see it? Yeah.
Private part.
Yeah.
Private parts.
Excellent work. You did promise you. Well done, Ifra. It's really impressive. How's it going here?
Amazing.
Great.
Walk. Walking. Walk. Walk. Walking. Walk.
صعبة صعبني صعبة.
Walk. Walking. Walk.
Walk. Walking. Walked. Walk. Walking. What?
Walk.
Ha.
Walking.
What?
Walk.
Walking.
What?
Be the most common word.
Be
the most common verb.
Good.
The most common adjective between an island. So
grand. It is grand.
Yeah, the weather is grand.
Sure, it's grand, so.
Grand. Grand.
Vagina.
I needed to learn it fast, so I could tell my story, studying the language and the issues, so I could start to talk about
A thing I think we all know a lot about, but a thing we don't talk about cutting. I remember when we had our FGM done, they brought us all to a small room. It was my grandma's hut.
there were soft straw mattresses, one for each of us.
I was 8 years old and very excited. It was Eid al-Fitr, a little like Christmas. I remember the doctor, my uncle. He was in a smaller room, hiding behind a dried grass curtain. But I could see him. My grandmother organized it.
And it was her brother, my uncle, who made his living doing the cutting.
They were close, and they decided to do the cutting for the whole family that holiday, for Eid.
Me, my sister Hani, my uncle's daughter, my father's 2 daughters, and 6 of our other cousins.
You could hear the screaming from the other room, and nothing you could do. Every second or third girl, he was pouring boiling water on the razor blade for to clean it. My grandma, she was holding the girls for my uncle to cut.
And my father's other wife was carrying the girls into the room and tying their legs together. They kept us tied for 40 days and 40 nights, so we couldn't move.
The worst thing is the pain, when you have to wee with your legs that are tied, and you have to lie there on one side and you can't go to the toilet. It's hard to describe how horrific, how much it hurt.
One of the girls who was cut at the same time as me, she just wouldn't wee. So she got an infection, and her stomach swelled way up. She was crying and moaning all the time, and her blood pressure got sky high. Then she went quiet.
She died. I got my type 3, which is the worst kind of cutting. They cut everything. I wasn't the first and I wasn't the last, but I was somewhere in the middle.
PT, cartographic.
I remember my grandma was holding me by my arm, very, very tight, pulling me in. But what I didn't know then was what we all know here today. That this cutting thing, this so-called cultural ritual, it is not some Muslim tradition condoned in the name of religion. It is mutilation.
Female genital mutilation.
She's fantastic. Christ, can she hold a crowd?
Thought you'd be impressed.
A human rights violation that detrimentally affects the health of 140 million women worldwide.
Still a bit too taboo a topic, though. To position it front and center of a presidential campaign human rights agenda.
I'm processing her for political asylum anyhow.
Thank you, Ifra, for sharing your story with us here today.
FGM is torture.
Nice to meet you.
Joe Costello, TD. If there's ever anything I can do, don't hesitate.
Oh, we take picture?
Sure. You're brother. Nice to meet you.
I could tell he was important. An Irish Labour Party minister. Of course, I didn't hesitate, to seek his support. As we say in Ireland, I'm not backward about coming forward. So when we launched the campaign for FGM legislation in Ireland, he was with us all the way.
Whoa, hold it there.
I'm here to see Joe Costello, TD.
Is he expecting you? Yes, he is. We should be inside in our seats before the president arrives pronto.
Okay, Amala, come on, guys.
No. Look, this is a tough event ticket-wise. President of the United States. I've only the one invite, and that's made out to you.
Oh, sorry. Me and my English, I'm always mixing up, when you is just me and when you is all of you. Sure, we're all here now anyway, so.
All right, I gotta move them along. Sure, they're part of the presidential entourage. They're pulling my leg. I'll vouch for them.
Let's take the picture. Smile.
Oh, it's more than my job is worth. When you're splashed across the 6 o'clock news for turning away 20 African-Irish women from the first African-American presidential address to the Dáil, it'll be more than your job's worth then. The woman taking the photographs there, I've seen her on telly. RT, am I right? She's huge on social media too. Did you get me?
Which was true. We were getting a lot of traction on social media. A little more conventional press, and we could push the FGM agenda to a whole other political level.
All right. Okay. Listen to me. Public gallery, though. Yeah, your public conscience will be clear. Just wait on there.
We were thinking big, but it was still a big risk what we did. We had no idea what to expect, if we'd be thrown out of the Obama event, or even out of the country. But I knew we'd get attention for the FGM campaign, and that's all that mattered in the moment.
In dreams, begin responsibility. And embracing that responsibility, working toward it. Overcoming the cynics and the naysayers and those who say you can't. That's what makes dreams real. This little country that inspires the biggest things. Your best days are still ahead. Our greatest triumphs are still to come. And Ireland, if anyone ever says otherwise, if anybody ever tells you that your problems are too big, your challenges are too great, just respond with a simple creed. It's fated late. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's fated late for all you've contributed to the character of the United States of America and the spirit of the world. Thank you. And may God bless the eternal friendship between our two great nations. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Ireland. Thank you, Ireland.
So now, suddenly, everybody wanted to interview me. To hear my story. It was an endless whirlwind of media events and TV interviews. On the occasion of President Obama's visit to Ireland, I can't help but think, what better way to recognize that, whether black or white, we are all women. Women who share the same fears and are entitled to the same rights, the same human rights, no matter where we come from.
Ifra, are you ever in touch with your family in Somalia at all?
When I get my passport, I would like to go back to Somalia to look for my father. And if ever I see her again, I'd like to ask my grandma, what was it all about? All this cutting? But that was the question I should never have answered.
What is it you hope to achieve tonight with this Irish ethnic fashion show?
The FGM campaign fundraising fashion show is meant to be a positive celebration of women. All women of any ethnicity, whatever their experience of FGM.
And is it appropriate, do you think, to mix FGM and a beauty pageant?
It is not just about beauty or body image, but about appreciating beauty in diversity and celebrating all that is worthwhile and beautiful in being female.
Still no sign from him.
I got it. Sorry.
Emer!
What?
Big favour, you're free tonight, aren't you?
Yes.
John, we've started. Are you nearly here?
Ifra, would you be really angry if I didn't make it tonight? Well, Emer says she'll go.
Of course not, I said.
Aha.
Just heartbroken. So his son is standing, the then mayor of Dublin, and now an MEP here. His wife, Emer Costello.
Please, everyone be upstanding for the mayor of Dublin, Emer Costello.
So with events like this, Aoife, you are gaining more and more support from an electorate who believe that we must make FGM illegal in Ireland. Tonight we will be celebrating Helen Steele and her take on hijab chic.
And even if I knew it before, I really felt it now. We're all girls born beautiful, born perfect, just the way we are.
This week, Who Is the Lead follows Ifra Ahmed in the lead up to her Miss Ethnic Ireland fashion show on her journey to become one of Ireland's newest citizens.
Here we were on national TV, and we weren't even citizens yet.
Sometimes I worry, you know. Maybe somebody of our families will find out about all of this.
I know, my grandma would kill me. And me talking away on the telly about my past and everything that happened to me.
So after all the stress of giving myself up to asylum, I had to tell my story over and over again to the immigration authorities and explain very painful and personal experiences to the doctor, who was a man.
Oh, here she is.
And share intimate details of my mutilation with the translator, who was another man.
This is the picture.
But I do know that the Labour Party has undertaken to present the female genital mutilation criminal justice bill to the Dáil prior to the presidential election, so that Ireland will have its own FGM legislation with provisions against the practice of FGM, against traveling to procure FGM, to support our social services responsible for refugees who have undergone FGM, and to ensure that immigrant experiences like mine never happen here in Ireland ever again.
Passing the legislation in Ireland was a breeze after that. We were recognized everywhere we went.
Well, you not again.
Ha! We're all official now.
Very nice, yeah.
We take picture.
Yeah, sure.
Very good.
Good luck to you.
It was just the beginning. Next stop, Brussels, Emma said. Europe, then the world. We even got the president to host an appreciation ceremony for us. And it was the very first bill he signed into Irish law on taking up office.
I salute the efforts which Aoife Ahmed and others have made to have FGM outlawed here in Ireland. And I very much welcome the fact that the Female Genital Mutilation Criminal Justice Bill has been passed into law. You're a credit to our country, Aoife.
And within a week, this entirely uneducated asylum seeker ceased to be a Somali refugee and became a naturalized citizen of the Republic of Ireland.
These are solemn and serious pledges.
I hereby solemnly declare my fidelity to the Irish nation and my loyalty to the state. Two final words. Do not forget your own country, your own people, your own traditions. Such memories are not contraband. Lastly, remember that under the Constitution, all citizens are equal. Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
I want to go to Milan first and see Inter play at European Cup.
Oh, I should really go and see my auntie in Minnesota to thank her, but...
Forza Inter, amala.
Oh, amala, amala.
Forza Inter, amala.
Nerazzurri, facesse soffrire, ma va bene, vincerò insieme. Amala, Forza Inter, amala. È una gioia infinita, sicuro una vita. Forza Inter, amala. Vivila, questa storia vivila. Durare una vita, non solo partita. Forza Inter, amala.
I am citizen of Ireland.
Oh my God. I'd had hate mail before from some of the more radical members of the diaspora reacting to my campaign.
Shut it down. Just ignore it.
But I am a good Muslim girl. But never anything on this scale.
Shut it down. We knew this was going to happen after all the media attention.
But how can people write this sort of thing?
Look! A message from your auntie in Minnesota. Dear Ifra, I am so pleased you got your asylum. And I love to see you in Minnesota, but I'm returning to Somalia to pick up the pieces of our family there. Your sister is in Italy. Still no word of your brother. But through the UN, I found out that they think your father has registered at a refugee camp in Uganda. I don't want to raise your hopes, but if it is your father, he's being repatriated and is now on his way back to Mogadishu. Ifra, I read about you a lot online in your campaign. Be careful. Not everybody in the family supports your cause. Auntie Sarah.
It had never occurred to me that my father might still be alive, let alone aware of what I was doing. I had to find a way to get back to Mogadishu.
You know, it will be alright in the end.
And if it's not alright, it's not the end. It's got to be around here somewhere.
There on the corner. Oh. I'll go on in and get us a ticket for the queue.
Somehow, Emer got Turkish Airlines to sponsor my flight and UNICEF to pay me to write a report on FGM.
I don't know what to say.
That's not like you.
Hassan.
Fra, waxa ugu dambeeyay kuu sheegay ma xasuutaa? Ya? Waxaan kugu dhahay gabdhaha fiican ma hadal badan. Gabdhaha fiican ceebtooda waa qarsoon. Gabdhaha fiicanna waxay ixtiraamaan reerkooda, diintooda iyo dhaqankooda. Dad badanaa ka xanaajisa. Reerkaagana ku dirta ma aragtaa? Ya?
I will not be silenced. Not now, not ever. Not even for my family.
No. Be a good girl. Afkaaga aan wasakhda ka soo daadan aniga aamus.
Or what?
I'll fucking stitch it shut for you.
Ifra! Who the hell is that guy? Who the hell was that guy?
Nobody will want to know.
Listen, you got the envelope with the boarding passes? I know it's via Istanbul, but it's the only route these days.
As well as liaising with UNICEF, Emer had just been elected to the European Parliament.
And you did remember to get your passport?
Passport?
Ifra.
I'm only kidding.
Okay, all right.
Listen, Emer, I've been thinking about the European Parliament presentation.
No, sure, we can talk about that when you get back.
You have to find somebody else. I'm sorry, I can't explain. It has to be somebody else.
What's wrong? What's going on?
It has to be somebody else. Sorry, I have to go.
Boarding pass. Okay, have a good flight.
And for the first time in my life, I legally boarded an international flight back to Mogadishu. I was welcomed back like a foreign NGO. The heat was welcome and felt faintly familiar, but everything else was different.
I'm sure you'd like to get straight to it.
Please, have they found out what he is?
Well, we traced the man. The same name as your father. Your auntie was right. He was listed at a UN camp in Uganda until last month.
And?
Well, we believe the same man might have re-registered at the IDP camp outside Mogadishu.
Tens of thousands of Somalis, ever resilient, coming home after years of conflict. A great gathering, as we would say in Ireland.
We've had such an influx in the past few weeks that it's impossible to verify or locate him exactly.
Couldn't I just go there and look for him?
It's not that simple, I'm afraid. If the area is not clear and the camps are very
Dangerous? Do you know where I come from? Where I was brought up?
came from. You're diaspora now, and they'll smell that from a mile away in Africa.
Who is Miss Diaspora now?
Okay, let's go. So the Minister for Women and Health has agreed to meet with you about your FGM report.
That's good.
Listen, you've been away for a while. This diaspora, you be careful about what you say.
I am a good listener. That's how I find out what's really going on. How I report on what's really happening on the ground. I talk to the women who have had multiple rape.
Assalamu alaikum. Mata kana Abi Ahmed?
Maya. I spoke to the kids whose families had been thrown out of their homes. I met old women who'd lost everyone. And children, all on their own.
Mata kana Abi Ahmed?
Maya.
But I didn't find anyone who knew my father.
Assalamu alaikum. Mata kana Abi Ahmed?
Ifra? Sorry, Ifra, we gotta go. If we want to be back by curfew.
They were really happy playing. They say, the little girls, that they are so excited because on Friday they are going to be cut. I was silent. I knew I couldn't let it happen.
Beautiful, isn't it?
That's the last thing I remember seeing when I left. The sun setting over the beaches at Hamrwana. Is it safe to go there?
There's not much of it left.
Can we check it out? You never know. Maybe he just went home. Oh my God, he's here.
Ifra. Ifra.
akhrisay joornaalka Mareykanka waxay tiri waxaad Soomaaliya u timid inaad ayeeyo weydiiso maxay ku gudday ayeeyada way xanuunsan tahay waxaadna u timid inaad weydiiso maxay ku gudday wayna og tahay taas
ayeeyo ma xanuunsan tahay ayeeyo
naya iso dhawaanaya ha iso dhawaanin meeshaad iga joog
ayeeyo aniga waaye ifra
waxaad rabtid maxay tahay aad rabtid inaa isu-aashid waa ku garanaya aniga waxaad rabtid inaa isu-aashid maxaa la ii guday maxaasaan u dhacday maxaa kan inaad waxaasi weydisbaarta ani kama bixi karo qof waa yeelaan aan kaa seexday dhaaf
waa khalad ayeeyo hada waa ogahay waa khalad And that was it. That was my heart breaking because I really didn't want to upset her. Even though I really wanted to ask her, why did she do it? Her brother, he was a doctor. Why did he do it? And why didn't she explain the pain? Why didn't she explain? I just couldn't ask. Now I knew that the best way to fix the past was to focus on the future. And that I would go to give my testimony to the European Commission. The 3 little girls are going to be cut on Friday. That's 3 days from now. What do I do?
Well, what do you want to do?
Whatever it takes to stop it. I could bring it up with the Minister of Women and Health.
Who is a man?
Or I could go back to the camp and try to convince the families.
Now that they call field work.
But I still felt scared, like I was a little girl again, and about to be cut for the first time.
Ah, Miss Diaspora. Welcome home. What can I do for you?
I told the minister everything I had learned, everything I had been doing, and about the 3 little girls in the camp at Afgoy.
My dear Ifra, there is very little I can do or offer you, other than moral support.
Moral support?
You have to appreciate the reality of a diaspora-dependent economy. Cultural resistance, for sure. Religious resistance, of course. But most of all, commercial.
The pirates, he said, and the traffickers. They kept the basic economy alive when we were away during the war. But most of all, the diaspora. It was we who sent the money to pay the dowries for the men who were marrying the daughters of the families to whom we'd also sent money to make sure they were cut.
Moral support. Moral support. They say you went away to Ireland during the war.
Yes. I was educated in Ireland.
You know the British explorer Sir Richard Burton who discovered Somalia? 1852. He was described as the Irish of Africa.
He probably didn't mean it as a compliment at the time. But I can assure you that nowadays, it is. Let's go.
maxaa dadkaaga ula joogi weysay waad ku soo noqnoqon kartaa inta
Ma awooda abe. Harunta amisom. Ani dartiis ayaa u joogaa.
marka waa inaad joojisaa ka hadalka gudninka waxay khatar u tahay adiga iyo anaga meeshan waaye meesha ka timid waana dhaqankeena
Meeshan waaye meesha aan ka imid.
Efra.
Firi. Kani waa baasaboortkayga. Waxaa mahadle habriyete.
Wahana kuno kankara. Mesha ang imit. Uli gana meira kesa.
Efra! Efra! Sanocho!
Ayeyo. Mahaway waxaas oo dhan gudninka. Mahaway waxaas oo dhan. Waxaan tirinaya inta naga ah ee agude. Hooyaday, habriyeer, walaasha igu weyn, aniga walaasha igu yar, gabdhaha adeer. Meeqo aniga ka mid ah. Midda naga badbaade waa habriyeer gabadheeda ay joogta Minnesota.
ها waa sax
laakiin maxaa
iyadaa ka badbaaday
Waylantay taasi way fiican tahay
haa way fiican tahay waxaa jira waxaan waa dhaqan iyo caado waxaan u leenahay nimanka iyaga gabdhahan bikra ah haddaysan bikre ahayn wuxuu samayn jiray god buu qodi jiray wuxuu dhihi jiray anaa ku dhacaya ha ku dhicina dadka sidaas darteed ayaa gabdhaha loo gudi jiray xataa waxa dhici jiray ninku hadduu safar aado marka habeenka uu soo laabto sidii gabadhii ay ahaan jirtay waagii inay noqoto ayuu samayn jiray marka waxa weeye waa caado oo aad iyo aad u foolxun marka ayay raalli oo ka xumayso
Then she gave me back the three $100 she had hidden in the seam of her skirt and told me to put it to good use. So I went right back to the camp early the next morning before the families go out to look for work.
soo kaca
haddii aad ku dhow gabdhaha
gabartan aan la hadlina
waxaa ku dhici karaa
gesade soo kaca
diga aadada
hore bushka gala
kaadida
carra anigu arko gabarta marka la hadlaysiin hore gala
indel mada kudibatoda
naga gala
I say you know the issues think about it all that suffering can stop with you
and the women they say what can we do we have to protect the purity of our daughters. And anyway, what's it to you?
So I explained that I work for UNICEF
that I am now an advocate against FGM, that I've studied the issues, and most of all, I understand. And so they say, okay, what's your deal? So I made a proposal and they agree.
$100 Ibalankada in Aden Kuden and Kaptaha.
They say yes, we are not going to cut. So I asked them to swear it on the Holy Quran, in the name of Allah. And I can hear them laughing at me outside. They think I'm crazy. And more people come back in and surround me, and I was scared, so I start shouting. They say, wait, okay, we're not going to cut, they say, but just to make sure they can marry, we're only going to make bleed. We just cut a tiny little bit, and then we leave it. So I say, no, that's not the deal. But I insist that they swear.
Hadi adrapto pakoldol, balan egakad, guliga,
Gudain Gabtaha. And they say, it's okay, don't worry, we're not going to circumcise. So they took the oath. Then I gave them the money. And for fear that other families will line up to threaten to cut their daughters, God forgive me, I ran away. Far from a perfect or practical long-term solution. But if I hadn't done it, I know I would always have regretted it. And forever feel that it would be on my face seeing that I could have done something, but I didn't try.